5,000 people in Las Vegas are living in homes illegally. For homeowners, getting squatters out is a nightmare. And it can be dangerous, as squatting often goes hand in hand with other serious crimes. But it's not just strangers or problem tenants taking over homes. Contact 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears talks to a Valley man burned by his own flesh and blood.
When you invite a friend or relative to stay in your home rent-free, you expect them to leave when you ask, especially if they wear out their welcome. But for one father, it was seemingly impossible to kick out his son after he said he trashed the house and committed a string of crimes.
Garage door's opening, Oscar. Garage door. This is your house?
Yeah.
Are you Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're out of prison.
I wasn't in prison.
Jail. Should I say jail?
Chris Talamonte is recently out of jail on bail for one of many pending criminal cases. That's his present, but he's also got a past.
And they found a stolen car and some drugs and drug paraphernalia in the house and a bunch of stolen merchandise.
Johnny Talamonte gave his son a chance to get back on his feet after he got out of prison at the end of 2008. He says Chris was doing pretty well for a few years.
But then towards this last year and a half, he's just gone off the deep end.
Returning to his old ways, drugs and theft.
A bunch of shady characters showing up at the house.
Johnny says while he worked out of town, his son brought in other addicts and more problems.
Basically, it's a flop house.
He says the people staying there were even taking his mail. Johnny told his son to leave and did his best to run off the uninvited guests, but it wasn't long before his home was trashed.
This is my bedroom that they ransacked. That broke the door. And
the evidence is everywhere. Broken shards of glass and an AC unit that was clearly slammed into the existing window. It's being held up by some wood and some rocks. And then other evidence in the driveway, discarded appliances, random pieces of furniture. This is the home on Desert Clover in the northwest side of town that Johnny says became an endless crime scene. Metro confirms they responded here more than 20 times in just 6 months. And every time police came, Johnny told them his son was a squatter. Johnny says even after another man squatting in the house was found killed nearby and Metro's SWAT team responded, he still couldn't get his son out.
the homicide detective called me and told me he can stay in the house.
It seems like common sense. If you tell someone to leave and they don't, call police. But it's not that easy, says Captain Rich Forbes of the Las Vegas Constable's Office.
So there's civil laws and civil processes that kind of override what you're referring to as common sense.
Forbes says the law gives rights to anyone who establishes residency, and that can be vague.
They've got belongings there, they're living in a room, let's say, in the house. We can't just say, hey, you're getting kicked out, because that would be considered an illegal eviction, and there's liability for doing that.
Johnny says the eviction process is too complicated, especially because he couldn't keep up with all the new people squatting at his home. Fed up and fearing he'd get in trouble for all the criminal activity, Johnny moved out of his own house.
When I go over to the house, I have to take the police with me. And he just sticks out his chest, like, yep, this is mine, this is where I can live, this is where I can stay.
I do have a right here.
And you have legal paperwork to prove it.
I have a right to be here.
Where is that right documented?
It's a verbal agreement between me and my dad.
The squatting son's got all kinds of stories, and you're going to want to hear them. Join me for more Friday on Action News, live at 11. Darcy Spears, 13 Action News.